think let's delve into Investec. This stock gaining almost 3%, in fact up around 2.6% today. A bit of bad news on the bad debt front with regards to what we see in Europe and particular the UK. Why are we seeing strength in Investec today given the bleak numbers?
Well, Eleni, for quite some time now, the South African fund managers regard Investec as a buy. It is cheap at the current price. Unfortunately, most of us expected that the figures would have been much better today than it was. But although it is weaker, we still see potential in that company. And we also see potential of growth in the share price, and we regard it as a buy still at this level.
And that's quite fascinating because we keep hearing about the banking sector and it's going to be facing new regulations down the line, and a lot of investors out there and analysts saying that the banking sector for the next 2 years or so is not going to experience double-digit growth going forward. So why buy into the banking story? Well,
you buy into weakness, Eleni, and you never know when you're in the trough when it's going to jump out of the trough. And I use the word jump because the market doesn't gradually come out of a trough. It just suddenly one day when you wake up, it's going up so fast that you can't catch up with it.
Right, delving into Discovery, the company entering in the short-term insurance space, of course partnering up with the likes of BP, Tiger Wheel and Tyre and various other companies as well. Is this a positive development for Discovery? We know that they keep coming in with new innovative products, and that's really what's been keeping them ahead of the curve.
Absolutely, and if you look at that company, it is definitely good news for them, because I think that they cover now all bases in the financial services industry by closing the gap that they still had on the short-term insurance side. And I think it will be very good on a profitable base for them, because what they're now doing is they come to the retailer as a one-stop shop.
Would you be buying into Discovery if you haven't already, Hein?
I don't think I will buy now at these levels anymore.
Okay, let's delve into Goldfields. It's quite fascinating to see this company and perhaps the pipeline projects. I mean, we're looking at new projects in South America, in Finland in particular with their platinum play. And of course, the CEO, Nick Holland, talking about Goldfields not so much being a pure South African play in the next few years, but perhaps being more so of a global player. We know that it's also got exposure to the likes of copper as well. Would you be buying into the story right now, given that the prospects could be quite optimistic?
I wouldn't buy necessarily into gold, but I must say I like this company. It is a good gold share. If you want gold shares in your portfolio, this will definitely be one of those. And the fact that they are concentrating on the exposure outside of South Africa is good news, because it is not very good for mining companies. The story hasn't been well for them to be overexposed to South Africa, and therefore most of those companies that's been overexposed to South Africa, you can definitely see a discount on their share prices.
With regards to other news out in South Africa today, I mean, looking at some of the numbers that came through from SAB Miller, and we know that a big focus coming through in Africa and Asia, Latin America as well, Europe and North America not being that fantastic, so a tougher market there. And we know SAB has actually been one of those resilient stocks as well, Hein.
Yes, I think the price is a little bit full, but you can also see that they've been doing well in emerging markets. That's where their market really is, and that is where they see the potential growth.
So are you buying SAB?
Not anymore.
Okay, let's delve into the overall market scenario. 8.8 billion rand passing through the market today. We're up around 0.3%, so pretty much a mixed picture. We also had municipal elections yesterday. Tell us about the scenario that's playing out in South Africa. Are you overall optimistic, Hein?
Well, because our market was closed yesterday, the international market was up yesterday after the previous day when we were still open. Our market together with the international market was down. So it's always very difficult to catch up with the rhythm of the international markets when you were out. And I think the fact that our volumes are not very high today, shows you that people were sitting a little bit on the sidelines and nibbling here and there where they thought it was worthwhile, like for instance Investec, and hammering again on the other side shares like Richemont. But I also think that this morning we opened very strongly, and it was on the initial figures I would suppose of that looked like the DA did much better than they eventually did. Now that more solid figures are coming through, the election definitely had an impact, I would say, on today's market. And I think to a large extent the results that we are seeing at the moment is more or less what the market expected, and that is the DA doing very well in the Western Cape, much better than they did in the previous election in 2006, but it's much of a muchness in the other provinces, except maybe on groundswell level, where we definitely see a bit of a swing towards the DA, and I think the governing party is sitting upright a little bit, and they will have to go back to the drawing board.